Hello friends. Welcome to this exciting tutorial. Today, we'll create a simple guess the number game using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Before we start coding, let's take a look at the final output. Let's start by setting up our project. We need three files: guessthenumber.html for structure, gtn.css for styling, gtn.js for logic. To quickly set up our HTML file, we'll use the shift exclamatory mark shortcut in VS Code, which generates a basic boilerplate. Inside the head section, the title tag sets the page title, which will be displayed on the browser tab as guess the number, make a guess. Next, we link an external CSS file using link element. We include a script tag that links to our external JavaScript file, gtn.js. Inside the body, we define a main section with the class GameContainerParent. This acts as a wrapper for the game content. Then, we add another section with the class GameContainer where all the game elements will be placed. We use an h1 tag for the game title, guess the number. Below that, we add a p tag to provide instructions. I have chosen a number between 1 and 100. Try to guess it. Now, we create an input field for the user to enter their guess. It has the ID of userGuess. The placeholder text says enter your guess to guide the player, and allows only numbers between 1 and 100. Below the input field, we add a button with the text check. When clicked, this button will trigger the check guess function. We add a p tag with the ID message to display feedback messages like too high or too low. Another p tag with the ID guess count will keep track of the number of attempts. To allow players to restart the game, we add another button with the text restart. When clicked, this will call the reset game function in JavaScript later. For visual appeal, we add a section with the ID bubbles. This will be styled with CSS to create an animated background effect. With this, our HTML structure is complete. Next, we will move on to styling the game using CSS. Let's begin by styling the body. We use the font family property to set the text style to Arial. To center align all text, we use text align center. The background is a gradient from purple to pink using linear gradient. We also ensure the background does not repeat and set the height to 100 VH so it covers the entire viewport. Next, we style the GameContainerParent class. We use displayFlex, justify content center, align item center, to position the game at the center of the screen. The height is set to 70 VH so the game does not occupy the full page. Now, we style GameContainer, which contains all the game elements. It has a white background, padding 20 px for spacing, and border radius 10 px for smooth edges. We also apply a box shadow effect to give a floating appearance. The maximum width is set to 400 pixels, and margin auto ensures it is centered. The H1 is styled with color dark gray. For the input field, we use padding 10px and width 80%, so it is easy to interact with. We also set margin 10px and 0 to create space above and below, and font size 16px to improve readability. The buttons are styled with padding 10px and 20px for a comfortable size. The background color is blue using background color and the text color is white. The corners are rounded with border radius 5px and we remove default borders. The cursor is set to pointer to indicate interactivity. When a user hovers over the button, we change the background color to a darker shade for a nice effect. The message paragraph displays game feedback. We use font size 18px and font weight bold to make it stand out. A margin top 10px creates space above it. The restart button, identified by #reset button, is initially hidden using display none. It will only appear when the game ends. To make the game visually appealing, we add a #bubbles container. It is positioned at the center using position fixed, top 50%, left 50%. Transform translate -50% and -50%. Initially, it is hidden with display none. Each bubble is styled using the bubbles class. We set background color gold, border radius 50% to make it circular, and opacity 0.7 for a translucent effect. The bubbles animate using animation bubble anim 2-second ease out forwards. The at keyframes bubble anim creates the floating effect. At 100%, it scales up to transform scale 2, moves translate y-150px, and fades out with opacity 0. This completes the CSS styling for our Guess the Number game. Next, we will add JavaScript to bring the game logic to life. At the start of the game, the computer selects a random number between 1 and 100. This ensures that each time the game runs, the secret number is different, making it unpredictable. To monitor how many attempts the player has made, we use a counter. This helps display the number of tries and ensures the game keeps track of progress. When the player enters a number, we capture that input. Before checking if it's correct, we ensure that it is a valid number within the allowed range of 1 to 100. Once the player submits a guess, the game compares it with the secret number. If the guess is correct, a congratulatory message appears, and the input is disabled to stop further attempts. If the guess is wrong, the game provides hints. If the number is too low, the player is told to choose a higher number. If it's too high, they are asked to go lower. This helps guide them toward the correct answer. To make the game more interactive, the game container's border changes color based on the number of attempts. This visually indicates the player's progress. To make winning more exciting, a bubble animation appears when the player correctly guesses the number. These floating bubbles create a celebratory effect. If the player wants to try again, they can restart the game. This resets the secret number, attempt count, and all game messages, bringing it back to its initial state. Congratulations! You've successfully created a fun number guessing game. Now, let's see it in action. Watch as the player enters different numbers, gets hints, and finally wins the game with an exciting bubble animation. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, CodeMaven, for more amazing coding tutorials.